Hello everybody and welcome back to another race recap video. Today we are in Makuri Islands for Chain Chomper. We got the first race of the Zwift Racing League Season 3 here in 2023. We've got a couple of segments on this one. So we've got the country sprint first of all, we've got the castle KOM after that, and then the temple KOM. And we finish on the temple KOM the second time round. So this was a very difficult race and one in which I didn't actually participate. So unfortunately I'm still recovering from my illness that I've had over Christmas, and I'm just nowhere near fit enough to compete in this one. So I thought I'd sit it out. Hopefully I'll be back in next week. I'm just started some early zone 2 rides to try and get my fitness back up. I'm actually going to start some polarized training, which should be interesting to see if that manages to build my fitness up. But yeah, I thought I would record the team anyway, because this was actually a really exciting race. Racing again for Team Rafa this season. So we've got a good group of us, and yeah, excited to watch the guys and see how this one pans out. So we're just watching John at the moment. Now John is normally our resident sprinter, shall we say. He has got a very, very good sort of 15-second power and usually picks up quite a few sprint points. Towards the end of last season he managed to do really well with a couple of segments. So this one I had some high hopes. So I started off by watching John, and we're just coming up to the country sprint here. So John makes a pretty good move. He's in a really good position at the moment, actually. Not too far back, which is normally my issue. And as you can see here, he gets going near the front. So yeah, he's pushing out some decent watts, 800 watts, 700 watts. And, oh, that's me there, watching the race. But yeah, he comes across the line. And I believe he got, I think, 7th fastest across and 8th first across the line. So some decent points for John there. So really well done, John. Now come to the first KOM, and this is a really interesting course because you've got like a little tester KOM first of all, which is softens the leg, shall we say, and then we've got the sort of larger temple KOM. So I mean, I was really pleased that I wasn't doing this, to be honest with you. I was sat there feeling pretty sick for them, to be honest with you. And you can see John here is just after that big sprint effort, just slightly falling off the back. 63rd. He's still, you know, pumping out some decent watts here, but it's all about staying with the front group. And yeah, it was actually really interesting because these sort of steeper bits, he manages to claw his way back a little bit. Sort of now we're on the flat, and as soon as the group sort of splits out, it's very, very difficult to get back into the first group unless you've got a bigger group behind. So yeah, unfortunately for John, that was sort of the end of the front group, but he'd already done a brilliant job in getting some points early on. Sort of switch back to Chile, who is riding with obviously a couple of the other Rafa guys. So yeah, they got a bit of work to do to sort of get back into it. Now I sort of flip across to Basti. Now Basti is our resident time trial expert, shall we say. He can push out some really, really big watts. So yeah, he's still with the front group at this point. So this is still on the first lap. Managed to sort of conserve a bit of energy, I guess, through the sprint. But yeah, he's just pushing out some massive watts here to stay with the front group up this climb. And yeah, he's doing a really good job. Because as I say, watching it was pretty sick, if I'm honest with you. I was feeling sick just watching, but yeah, he's doing a good job trying to get as much sort of draft benefit as possible. But yeah, I guess the job for now is just to sort of stay in that main group. I did want to sort of mention, whilst we're watching Basti up this climb, it's really actually quite difficult coming back to fitness from being ill. I'm not sure if anyone else has sort of had a bit of time off over Christmas, but just finding it so difficult trying to get back. Those first initial rides, the heart rate just sort of increases, even with the sort of zone 2 stuff that I was really comfortable with before. But I guess that's the fun involved, isn't it? And I guess having some time off, you know, through something like a cold or the flu is actually probably, you know, as long as you recover okay, good rest for the leg, shall we say. Now here we've got Basti just coming through the finish line of the Temple KOM in 19th spot. So no first across the line or fastest through, but job done in terms of staying with the front group. There are a couple that have gone off the front, but you know, Basti is a bit of a diesel engine, so we've rejoined here where everyone is back together pretty much, which is you know, very good work, because essentially we've only got those 2 climbs to go again. Now, as I said before, John is sort of our resident sprinter, so I guess the main thing for Basti here was to just stay with this group. He's still pushing out some sort of big watts, you know, 430 watts here. And I guess this is okay to let the guys at the front go, as long as he just manages to hang on to the back here, which he does, as we see me again on the line. Yeah, I actually wasn't involved in the race as such. I didn't even join the pen, to be honest with you. I just, if you ever want to know, it's an interesting tip this, if you ever want to join or watch a race like this, you have to be in the same world as your teammates. So I just created a meetup and then ended the meetup, and then on the Zwift companion app obviously watched the guys. So yeah, I wasn't actually in the pen itself. So just coming back up now to the Temple KOM, and Basti's still doing a very good job. I did actually think that he was at the front quite a lot in this little group, which just goes to show how strong he is and how much he likes to pull. He's used to it, racing for us, especially with the TTTs, which we've got this week coming up. So looking forward to that one if indeed I do race. So yeah, he's doing a good job again here, just staying with the front group as we're coming up through the Castle KOM, whilst others are dropping their power up. They're just hanging off the back here. At this point I wasn't screaming at the TV, but I was sort of like, come on Basti, you can do this. Just hanging on. And yeah, he pops his aero just at the right time to get sort of straight back onto this group. So, there's Lewis Collins there as well, who is also a watcher of the channel. So hello, Lewis. So yeah, the final KOM, the Temple KOM, this one. I kind of thought that Basti might drop back a little bit, but I was hoping, you know, worst case scenario, he'd managed to get into the top 20. So I think it's okay to let the group go at this point, because he's already done a really, really good job. I was thinking sort of what I would do if I was even in this position. I would probably be exactly the same. Yeah, now in 18th spot. There's a few twisties to go. 19th now, as this chap passes him. And we've got a 13 second gap. 12-second gap back to the person behind. So, yeah, interesting to see if he's going to be able to hold off the charge, because you can see Kev H behind is at 5.2 watts. So it's going to be a really interesting one to see if actually Basti can hang on. I know if he can get to the top, the last little bit is quite flat, so he'll be able to use his power hopefully to sprint away. But like, he's already 3 seconds now. So it's sort of quite nail biting stuff. There's a bit of a pack. It would be really heartbreaking to do all that work with the front group to fall back to, mid-20s, 30s. So here we are then, we're neck and neck here with 1 turn to go. And just he's going to get pushed out of 19th here. But there is one last effort left. One last corner. A couple of others have fallen back a little bit, so I'm more confident that Basti will come either 19th or 20th. And as expected, here we go, just on the flat, he's just able to use his big diesel engine to get past. And I feel deservedly so in 19th position. So an absolutely fantastic result. Great work staying with the front group. And a very good result for us. I just flick back to John, who is now climbed sort of back up. Hopefully he's going to make top 50, which will be excellent. following his sprint points earlier on. John's a pretty good climber, actually. And as you can see, he's just popped the aero at the right point. 49th. He's absolutely smashing this last bit. 48th. So yeah, John finishes in 48th. So there you can see where we are as a team. So we finished 13th. So, you know, pretty much where we were there or thereabouts last season. But I'm pretty hopeful, to be honest with you. Usual suspects there at the top. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.